Fed, which has 5.5% interest rates and can cut, it's like they reloaded their gun. And so now we're sitting here and we're saying, hey, the Fed's not out of the fight. The Fed took a water break, right? They went and they got a sandwich. They took a nap. They are fresh, ready to fight. And so if there is a market downturn or if they decide it's time, they're going to fire everything they got, which means the playbook of the second half of 2020 is coming back and asset prices will absolutely rip because now the Fed's going to stimulate the economy. The Fed has not been stimulating the economy and we're still at or near all-time highs. Imagine what happens when they start the stimulation process.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. Another day in crypto and Pulsechain update. That's what we're going to get into. We're turning to some different tokens today when we're looking at pTGC, which we've covered many times. That is absolutely pumping while on Pulsechain, while everything else is pretty much down. So pTGC, they're really doing really well. It's been one of our favorite ecosystems on Pulsechain, and it's been performing. So we've got a poll out actually on there in the chat there. So get into that. We're also going to be looking at TitanX and DragonX ecosystem that's exploding on Ethereum. And of course, we're going to look at some of the new Dapps as well that they've got coming out, which you'll be able to participate in also. So that's going to be a fun show. We're going to cover generally all the markets as usual. Get into the chat, folks, and let's go. We've got Lives Beneath in the house there. How are you today? Very good. Hex Pulsex incentive for the win, 100%. Accumulating at these prices, unbelievable right now. As part of your longer term portfolio, looks amazing. If we've got the poll at the moment. Do you hold any of the following tokens? pTGC, TitanX, DragonX, or two or more of the above? So get in there and get in that. We'll look at that poll later on. We've got Brian in the house there. What's up, folks? Brian, hope you're enjoying yourself. We've got a pretty good day out here in New Zealand. It's sunny outside. It's still kind of, coming off the back of winter between seasons into summer. So what is it? Does that make it spring? I don't know. Are we spring into summer? Is that the right? Or is it autumn? I think it's pretty much spring, isn't it? But hopefully I got that right. So we've got a sunny day today. Still a bit cool on the wind, but certainly heading in the right direction. And the days are getting longer, which is really cool. I love those long days. Short days during winter, not so good. Who else we got? Archie in the house there, the head of the I keep calling it the protectorate, but it's not protectorate. Head of the what is it? What family you head of? Let me know. And the allegiance there. Archie's here, never fear. The syndicate is what he's head of, plus all the rest of the families. Big shout out there. All right, let's get into it, folks. Without further ado, let's see how the markets are going. I'm going to start off with the stock market. And here we go. So we got the S&P 500 ekes out gains as NVIDIA slip weight. So obviously NVIDIA, the big chip maker, AI in particular. And of course, we've been following that. It's going to be very important heading into the Q4 when we're expecting potentially crypto to really take off. So we want NVIDIA to do well as well to hold up the tech sector. So Dow Jones at the moment up 0.6%, 244 points to 41,335. So nice day for the industrials, all the cyclical stocks. So it's pretty good. S&P 500 flat today at 5,591, and the Nasdaq with all the tech companies in it is down 1/5%. They're 37 points to 17,519. But the NVIDIA is going to be very important heading into Q4. We want the stock market to keep slowly pushing up there. We had GDP numbers out. So GDP growth surprises to the upside in Q2, easing hard landing fears. Now we had that video at the beginning with Pompliano talking about the Fed's tools that it has interest rates and money supply. And, he's just saying, well, if it's 5.5%, we can really rally if we get a hard landing. In other words, the economy really starts to deteriorate, manufacturing, employment, GDP, things like that. Gross domestic product grew by 3% in the last quarter. A Commerce Department report showed in its second estimate better than expectations of 2.8%. So the economy is still doing well, relatively speaking, and a jump from the 1.4% annualized growth seen in the first 3 months of the year. Additionally, the labor market there, or Labor Department should say, report showed initial claims of unemployment benefits for the week ending August 24th stood at 231,000, marginally lower than economists' estimates of 232. So that's good news there. The fewer than expected weekly claims comes even as numerous corporates have announced job cuts. So we're still, all the stuff's kind of delayed. And that's why that video at the beginning is so cool about potential cuts in case it is needed. with the, there's always a delay in interest rates to employment trade-off, and so that's what they're talking about there. But while the risks to the labor market are increasing, we doubt the claims are going to accelerate sharply anytime soon. So we've got a bit more time potentially to get out of that hole, especially if the Fed is pivoting its interest rates. Growing expectations of an interest rate cut in September have buoyed Wall Street indexes in recent sessions. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell laying the foundations for reduction at the Jackson Hole Symposium last week, which we talked about. Now, the one thing I was going to talk about is NVIDIA quickly. We don't typically talk about the stocks in detail, just the indices, but we have got NVIDIA got their Blackwell AI chips coming out for the Q4, and they got big sales. We believe it is still too early to start discounting a peak as major CSPs, that's basically communication service providers, are still indicating to us demand upside and lengthening duration of capacity commitments from their customers, none of which suggests we are getting are close to, yet to things rolling over. So in other words, still got growth in the future there. So that's positive, and that's what we want to see, right? We want the stock market to hold up. We want that wealth effect to transfer into crypto as well, and the sentiment, right? That's what we're holding there. All right, so let's go into the Fed rate monitor. We've got the next Fed meeting course coming up in September, 2 weeks, 5 days and 17 hours away on the 18th of September at 2 p.m. Eastern. At the moment, we've still got just over 2/3 of the market expecting a 25 basis point cut. So it's 1/4 of a percentage point, with 32% expecting 50 basis points, which would be a real surprise to the market if we get that based on the current expectations. November expecting at least another 25 basis points, and then on December another 25 basis, or actually 50 basis points actually in December. So that would suggest, given market expectations are 1 percentage point by the end of the year, they'll take us down from 5.5 down to 4.5. And of course, that makes money cheaper, right? And also takes the burden off the, those with mortgages and things like that, at least coming off fixed or floating. So that's kind of cool there. All right, let's jump away, and we're going to get into the crypto market from that. So, a mixed day on the stock market, a mixed day on crypto as well, as it turns out. So we've got Bitcoin at the moment, 59,414. Is up 0.4%. Bitcoin dominance just below 55%. We got Ethereum there is just slightly down 0.2% at 2,528, and BNB down slightly as well. Solana down almost 3% at $140. XRP down 1.4% at 56 cents. So we've got some of those leaders there. Matic is down 3%. Now Matic, I think it's on the 3rd of September. Is it the 3rd? I think it's the 3rd. I don't think it's the first. I have first in my head as well, but I think it's the 3rd of September. Matic is token is changing over, right? So I think it's going to poll or something like that. So that's coming up, I think, on the 3rd for Matic. So if you got Matic, that might impact you. What else we got going there? ADA is up 2%, 35, almost 36 cents. You remember ADA's got the Chang fork, and I think that's the first, right? I think the Chang upgrade is at the 1st of September. That might be why I have the first in there. So I think the 1st of September for the Chang ADA update. It's a major update around, I believe, DAO and voting and things like that. So that's there. You can probably follow Charles Hodgkinson to get more details on that. Litecoin up 1.3% at $62. Those are kind of the leaders at the moment. Even Optimism is up slightly. And Atrium is down a little bit there. So that's kind of the leaders at the moment. Let's zoom in on Bitcoin though. And, talk of the town. This is on the hourly. So we, did get a nice little counter rally after that big fall that we had. We got a bit of a counter rally back up to 61,222. Then we got pushed down earlier today, right? Boo! Got pushed down. Look at that red candle. Pushed us down after recover. And we're back down where we started here around 59,270 on the hourly. Let's go to the daily here and see where we are. We zoom out. There's the daily. So we've had our volatility. It's been a little bit of a lower lows there, a little bit of rollover, but we're still holding up on the bottom, right? So the bottom's still holding up relatively, and we're still above this 57 that I have. So that's not too bad. Otherwise, 50, 50, 52, 51, 52 would be the next level down for me. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Definitely a bit of support at 54. So at the moment 59. So still looking pretty good. However, we're about to go into September very soon, and that's the most down month on history. But we are in a Bitcoin halving year. We have had the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, so keep us up there. And we have got the interest rate pivot coming on the 18th of September, at least 25 basis points. So Are we going to have a bit more volatility through September like we typically do? And then maybe towards the end of it, maybe we get a bit of a lift, or we're going to have to wait till October, which is typically Uptober, right, for crypto. So it's the opposite, and we get the up green started, and maybe the bull market starts from there. Obviously, with the U.S. election, we're wanting Trump to win. Trump came out again today, talking about being a super mega pumped pro crypto, and we know that Kamala Harris is just faking about their crypto support. They're gonna betray any of those things they did. They're talking about, and so they've been anti-crypto during the Biden-Harris administration. They're not going to be any different if Harris and Waltz were there or whatever. So that's just going to be a nightmare. So yeah, Trump's the only way for us. Trump's been very specific. Going to get rid of Gary Gensler. Going to simplify the regulations, make it clear, and stop the lawfare. Right. So. That means that potentially we could get obviously the Richard Hart case there shot down. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. And of course, if we could rally from maybe late September, but probably October onwards into Christmas, and have maybe target that 100,000 Bitcoin. You guys know things can change very, very quickly in a very short space of time. I mean, just think about the 7th of February here, all the way up to the 14th of March. So it's about 5 weeks. We got a 73% gain in Bitcoin there, 31,000. So if you don't think we can go from 60 to 90 inside, 4 or 5 weeks, then you haven't been in crypto very long, right? So there we go. That's a bit of a joke. I know many of you have. But that is kind of the play there. We could turn around very, very quick on this one. So that is where we're heading at Bitcoin at the moment. So a bit more volatility potentially in September, maybe only for the first 3 weeks, and then game on is a reasonable expectation there from my point of view. Ethereum at the moment, obviously the coming all the way down as well. It came back up, obviously had that pullback like Bitcoin did, and it's currently sitting at 2,520. But we did get on that first pullback there back on 27th August. We got all the way down to 2,400. So we're at least up a little bit, at least $100 on that one. Moving to the daily on ETH, we have got 2,500 there. And we got some support here. We've got support probably around about 2,300, so down to 2,100. Yeah, so probably in that way, 21 to 2,300. Currently at 2,500 at the moment on the daily there. We did have the death cross, which is unfortunate. We have the death cross here, and that has played out. And of course, been more severe with the Bitcoin. So hopefully we'll get a bit of a turnaround, and hopefully this will be the bottom, or at least that 21 to 23 range, before it pops back up to the upside. Got all the same, obviously, interest rates and US election coming up for that. Let's jump over to the meme coins, obviously. So I've got a meme coins here over all the markets, so all chains. We've got Dogecoin at the moment, 14.5 billion, down 6% for the week, slightly up on the 24 hours. What else is looking pretty interesting here? I'm not going to go through all of them. They're all down single digits. Brett on base chain is down 15% for the week. Up slightly at the moment. Dogs, which is that new corporate one, trying to steal some of the brand of dog itself on Bitcoin. That is down 18% there at the moment, down 9% for the day, and sitting at 674 million. So it's still doing pretty well, even though it's down 18%. And of course, we've got PopCat is up 14% of the week. So PopCat been doing really, really well. It seems to be one of the more resilient, but you've got volatility with it, down 1% at the moment. Boom is down 15%. For the week. Dogs, Cat in the Dogs World, or Mew token is down 11%. Mogcoin down 17%. Pepcoin there is up 24% for the week, so a bit of a standout, and up 3.5% for the last day. So Pepcoin there making a bit of a shun, bit of a nice move out of all those top ones. And then that gets us into Dog, right? Dogs on Rune, which we're backing for the win there on Bitcoin. Number one meme coin on Bitcoin, number one meme coin potentially in the world by the top of the bull market. Especially if Bitcoin's rallying up to 100K or so, and the holder count has continued to rise, right? Holder count continued to rise, down 6.8% for the week, but pretty much flat the last 24 hours, sitting there at the 277 million on market cap. All right, so that's kind of it for that. Overall, 2.09 trillion is the market cap, and that's just up slightly today. There we go. And trading volume down 34% at 66 million. That's going to lead us into Pulsechain before we get into some of these token updates on TitanX and pTGC, etc. Let's have a look at some of these comments. The directorate, yeah, Archie says the directorate. Yeah, Archie, see, that's why he's the Don. That's why he's the Don, because he knows the directorate. Yeah, I don't know. I just had a brain freeze. I keep calling it the protectorate for some reason. I have no idea why. Wookie says the Mary King died today. Yes, he did. 69, wasn't he? 69. Rest in peace, the Mary King. Although they were heading in a bit of the wrong direction there, but with some of the politics. The Jedi was needed more than ever, says Wookie. The Jedi are needed more than ever. They are indeed. We got Blair in the house there. Hi, all. Good to see you, Blair. Hope you're doing well. Good to have you in the chat there. And yeah, if you're watching today on any of the channels, we're streaming the 3 different channels: Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X to over 10,500 subscribers. If you're new and watching, hit that subscribe button, share the channels around, and of course, definitely hit the bell for future videos and smash that like button. It always helps with the algorithms, right? So get in on that one. That's all we can say. All right, and if you haven't joined our Discord, links in the video description. So get on that. Now we got day 475. I think that's the one we're on. Yeah, day 475. Yeah, I think so. 475. We got pulse price at the moment. Quadruple 0336, down 3%. 34% of the mean sacrifice price. Pulse X at the moment. Quadruple 0168, down 5.3%. So quite a good steal to pick up these prices. And we got the buy and burn at the moment is 962.9 billion. 962.9 billion. We're at 4.77% of the public supply of Pulsex has been bought up and burned. Now we are sitting just below 17% of the main sacrifice price. So man, when the uptrending happens, it's going to be a mad gains for people, and that's all I can say. We're going to talk about that when we get to the charts. Incentive token down is at $1.59, down 5.5%. So that's the biggest loser today. And of course, we're sitting at total supply 40.8 million incentive tokens from the V1 farms. We're going to look at the V1's farm yields today. That's what on our every couple of days we like to look at those Pulsex yields. So we're going to be doing that. Hex at the moment is at 42 hundredth of a penny, down 2%. So actually, Hex is the best performer today. Was yesterday as well. So 2 days in a row, sitting at 53 hundredth of a penny is the combined price, with eHex at 11 hundredth of a penny there. So not too bad for Hex. So that is day 475. We're going to get in the charts. Before we do, we've got to shout out to Scott's in the house. TitanX for the win, 100%. Getting that poll, folks. Got a poll up there at the moment. Do you hold any of the following tokens? pTGC, TitanX, DragonX, 2 or more above. Get in there, folks, and vote. That's all we can say. Big shout out there, Scott. Now, even a bigger shout out to Brian, our community leader, a member for 31 months. So Brian is one of the top, I guess, 2 or 3 members in the Hex Token membership. So big shout for your support. He's also one of our community leaders. He was a solo community leader for a very long time, along with Archie now. He's combined, and just incredible. Onboarded something like 100 people, 150 people maybe onto Hex. Is very help with people education, and is all around superstar in our community. So big shout out to Brian, and appreciate the support. Woo, as he says, woo. That's our old chant on the channel. If you're not familiar. All right, so kind of cool. Let's get into it. Let's go to the charts, and let's have a look where we are at the moment. So we're going to just look at the weekly very quickly, just because we're basically at the bottom here. And we're back where we were started when the SEC started hassling the chain back in July last year. And basically, we've got this big thick candle here. So basically, we're at the bottom. We've been here before on several occasions. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks we've been at this level. 5 weeks actually at this level. So that's where we are. And so yeah, we're at quadruple 0332, and basically just accumulation zone. And the RSI is 33. Not fully oversold on the weekly. Let's have a look at the daily quickly. The daily here, the RSI is down at 32, so not fully oversold, but we can tend to bounce out around here. So this is probably a very good location to accumulate a little bit. And those mad volumes you can't get, once it stays on the uptrend, it reverses very quickly on the volume. Now, the other thing we're going to look at is the coming up expectations. So obviously we've got the SEC hassling the chain. And so that's really what's set the course of this chart over time. We had the SEC response on the 8th of July. We had Richard Hart's Dream Team response on the 22nd. And I really do feel like it's heading in the right direction. Strength from Richard's team. They are superstars, right? And in terms of the legal firms, even one of them's, Elon Musk's legal firm. And they put together a very good rebuttal there. Particularly the SEC is already starting to capitulate on alter ego argument. So that's really weak when you go into a court and you're already capitulating on one of the arguments. So yeah, it's going to be looking really good. And I think that Richard's also got the Constitution in there. I think it's a good argument for blockchain, it's free speech, all that sort of stuff. So really, really cool. Obviously, the Howard test interacting with contracts like Hex and things like that. So I think there's a lot of good arguments there. So we're looking forward to that. That's coming up in October the 24th. That's going to be a big day. And apparently there's about 150 Pulsechains, Hex skins going to be turning up to New York there for that court case. So it's going to have a lot of support there. And we may even get a few amicus briefs as well from other crypto, being harassed by the SEC. And so, we've got maybe 30 to 60 days after that, we might get some response to that from the judge, like a judgment. Hopefully we'll get dismissed all the different arguments. At least most of them would be very good. And then, of course, we've got potentially to back up the insurance policy being US election if Trump wins. That's the only play. If Harris wins, we're screwed globally. We're screwed. So hopefully that's going to play out not just for society, the West, to keep the West great, but also push back communism and authoritarianism, as well as pump our bags in crypto. That'd be the way to go. Right, so that's Pulse. Pulsex at the moment obviously broke down our super long yellow uptrend there, currently at 1682. So we have broken down slightly through that support that we wanted to hold, 1800. The next stop would be about 1500. 14 to 1500. That's kind of the next stop. So hopefully we can, slow there, maybe bounce from 1500. That would be the bottom if we do go down 15 to 14. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Obviously, more volume you can pick up right now. That's pretty much it. We've still got the higher lows intact though. So there we go. Incentive token though. Let's have a look at the ratio because this ratio has definitely dropped today. Yeah, it's been dropping. Now, at the moment, it's at 47,500. We really want to keep this range. So this range here, which I have at about 44,500. So you kind of want to keep that. And otherwise, we're still intact, right? Definitely floating down with the Pulsechain market and with Bitcoin. But definitely, if we can hold that 44,500. I think if we break that, man, we're going to go down quite strongly, right? So that's kind of the play on that one, in my view. Now, looking at the yields on Pulsex V1, we can see we've still got very healthy yields. So Pulsex Pulse is at 11%, Hex Pulse is at 20%, INC Pulse is at 29 or almost 30%. INC Pulsex yields are 25% on the farm. This is V1 farms. You can see the V1 there. Now, looking at the bridged-in stablecoins, DAI, USDC, and USD Tether matched up with Pulse. We can see they're at 52%, 46%, and 53%. So really good yields in there. People have been loving that, especially with that channel, right? That the incentive token channel. And of course, Wrapped ETH there sitting at 32%. So Pulsex V1 farms are offering stellar returns for a long time. So there we go on that one. And will we get something? Will we get something eventually around the pools, one single side staking pools or the DAO? And of course, that is in the Master Chief contract. So we'll see what happens maybe next year. Something for next year to look out for. Or maybe a Christmas present at the end of this year. Who knows? What the magic carpet ride magician will do on the old Pulsechain there. All right, so that's pretty much that. Let's jump over to Hex. Obviously, Hex are super low down here, really testing the last couple of weeks. Current price at 4,100, just below, just above 4,100th of a penny, and the RSI down 36 on the weekly. Looking at the day for Hex, we're on the RSI, we're at 33. So obviously just accumulate, that's all pretty much the zone is at the moment. And the same likewise for EHEX, currently at 1100th of a penny as well. Nothing really to talk about there. Now moving to Hex derivatives. Have we got anything green on Hex derivatives? We do. Lucky is green. Lucky is green. So the 7-year Hex mining pool is up 12.6%, 6,000 liquidity. But that is up today. So there we go, 31 transactions. A very small volume now, $516. So just remember that, very small on that, easy to move the price. Trio's up slightly, and Maximus as well, the 15-year WOW. So Maxi is the 15-year Hex WOW, and of course it's going to dominate out there because I think the Hex Gold WOW is going to be pretty chill, even when it gets all its bags. The Hex Gold WOW is front running the Maxi, but I think the Maxi is going to have a friend there in the Hex Gold WOW. This is the way it goes. Right, so that's kind of the play there. Let's have a look at the stable coins. Stablecoins at the moment, PDI is actually at 1,500 a penny, up 2.6%, followed by USDC and USD Tether, they're speculative stables, right? So they're not at a peg. Now, that's pretty much it. The peg stables are ticking away. I mean, they're pretty much around $1. The coasters are slightly weaker there at 97 cents, but is up 1% today. Looking at influencer coins, with the only moves there, Bromance has been doing quite well the last wee while. It's been green on many days that we've been watching, up 7% today. That's from BitBoy or Ben Armstrong. More token from Trayvon up 4.8%. Those are the two standouts there at the moment. Now we'll go to overall coins. Let's go down to Pulsechain. We're going to wrap this up and get into our focus one, pTGC, soon. So let's have a look at the total volume, 8.2 million. So not too bad. We're down from yesterday. It is a weekday, but still 8.2 million is better than what we had earlier in the week. We're around 6 million. Yesterday I think was 10 something. So 8.2 is not bad. 200,000 transactions, so about 25,000 less than yesterday. The best performer today, Alien, Rat, Molat there, pTGC, which we're going to talk about. They're all up there. So Alien's up 25%. Mole Rat there was up yesterday as well, wasn't it? Yeah, 22% today. pTGC up as well. We're going to be talking about that, of course. Teddy Bear is up 8.5%. I know Moon King likes this one. We've got Die Hard there up as well, maybe slightly because PDI is up. You get paid PDI dividends, don't you, for that with Reflection. That's up 8% there as well. Giffordware managing to be up 7%. So big shout out to the Giffordware team, Crypto Kool-Aid and the gang. That should be into music, all right, so, rather than gaming. We got Pika there is up 5% as well. So that's some of the leaders. DWB also making a bit of a launch there as well, around 5%. So we've got a few little greenies there and a couple of percentage gains on the list there. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. Let us get to the rest of the stats. Let's go to the gas prices. We've got 108,000 beats, so super low on Pulsechain for gas fees, 1/10 of a penny for Pulsex swap, 800 or 8,000 of a penny for PRC20. A Pulse transfer, and 200 of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. Gwei on Ethereum still super low, like yesterday. One Gwei was 692 times cheaper than that because the beats are so damn low at 100,000 there. Normally it's around 150, maybe 200. So we're doing pretty well there. Going to the validators on Pulsechain, 48,471 validators. Man, that's a huge number, right? 1.55 trillion stake Pulse. You know, Pulsechain is truly decentralized. It really is one of its strengths, is being decentralized, pure one there. No silly games like layer 2s, no chain stoppages, things like that. It does need a bit more infrastructure, but we do have a big Oracle coming. Jacob is working on that. We talked about that the other day. I think we will have a fully decentralized Oracle coming to Pulsechain. We were hoping that Liquid Loans were going to do it with Teller. Hashtag fail on that one. Hopefully they'll do something in the future. They've got a lot of money. So hopefully they'll do something. Also, they're talking about doing some in-game thing too with the onboarding to Pulsechain. So we'll see where that leads to with some partnerships. That may be something that's just taking a while to do. All right, bridge there. Let's have a look at the bridge. 90,431,000. So we're up about 300,000, I think, from yesterday, something like that. And there we go. We got ETH there as well. So yeah, not too much to say. We're just up slightly on the bridge. We want to get back over 100 million for sure. All right, so that's pretty much it for the day. I think it was day 475, was it? Yeah, I think it was. That was, yeah, I'm pretty sure. We'll come back to that. Anyway, so that is the numbers. Let's jump into pTGC, though. Before we do, let's get back in the chat and say hello to anybody else that's jumped in there. MVS, morning family. AMVS, hope you're doing well. Man, exciting day today, that's for sure. We've got some good movers here. Let's see this poll. We've got a poll in the moment. Do you hold any of the following tokens? PTGC, TitanX, DragonX, or two or more of the above? Get in there, folks. We're going to finish that when we get through these tokens. That is our topic at the moment. So we're talking about what's hot. So here we are, pTGC. Now, we've talked about this many times. It is really on a tear right now. This is the daily chart for pTGC. Is kind of like a DAO reflection ecosystem. Is really, and I think they have ARBs as well, don't they? And so it's been doing very well. I mean, just from the bottom here on the 12th of August, it has really climbed up here 120%, while Pulsechain is kind of down to on the downside. This has been doing really well on Pulsechain. So this is pTGC on Pulsechain, and it is up 120% there in the last 16 days, 17 days. So doing very well there at the moment. Yeah, up 15% the last 24 hours. Liquidity 65 million, and market cap at 14 million at the moment. Doing pretty well there. Volume is ticking away, so that's kind of cool. pTGC, there's lots of trading pairs for this, right? At the moment, so that's kind of where we are there. Let's just jump back out of here. We can see all the other trading pairs, right? With Atropa, DAI, PulseX, Hex, Incentive Token, Pulse. So there's lots of different trading pairs there. Pulse, of course, is very big. We've got 439,000 liquidity in this one. 41,000 in volume on this particular pair. So it's doing pretty well in here as well. So pretty not bad as well on that one. So that's kind of cool. Now, I do have a website. We're going to quickly look at the website. The website is here. This is the website here. And of course, I used the picture of this for the thumbnail today. You can see it coming out. Look, here it comes. Here's the alien coming out of the darkness. There we go. Bam. That is the thumbnail picture. Looking pretty good. So the Grays has easily been one of the best ecosystems on Pulsechain. And I think they have a very strong stakeholder group, a very strong community there to help support it to the upside. So it's kind of cool at the moment. And you can see the chart sort of speaks for itself there as well. So let's have a look at the full chart on the daily. That is the full chart there. Actually, let's go to the weekly. It's probably a bit easier to see. That is the weekly chart there. So you can see that's a pretty good damn chart, isn't it? So not bad at all. Had huge run up, right? Huge run up. Got to 0001. Actually lost the 0 and got the 0001. Isn't that cool? Currently at 4 zeros, 4,800. So on the way back up there. So just to get back to the top, that's going to be another increase. We talked about being up 118%. It's another increase that's another 118% pretty much to get back up the top. So doing pretty well. RSI, I've got plenty of room to move too. So that is pretty much that on the chart. Now it's got multiple tokens in the ecosystem, obviously. It has staking, right? So you can do staking of pTGC, which is pretty cool. And you can earn pTGC out there. Not bad. So it's got all that in there. You have fun with that. And it's also got a DAO, right? It's got the DAO. Have your say in the future of the Grays ecosystem. Make proposals. So they got proposals here. Said to the OA, buy and burn it strategically. So they got that active, succeeded, defeated. I've got all those proposals there. They got a game. I don't know where this game's going to lead us, but they got a game in there as well. Grays game. I'm not going to read through that, but it's got one there. They got the TGC sats as well. So they got the burn chart. So the burn here, how much PDG tokens have been burned. They got the supply distribution not showing up at the moment. Total TGC burn till, oh, there it goes. So we've got the staked only is 25% of PTGC. We've got the purple there is held as well. So that's 21%, 22%. The green here is staked and locked. So it's locked away. And the burned is an orange. That's 11.1%. So that's pretty cool. That's all off the market, right? Those two there, which are pretty cool. And we got some in the liquidity pool. And then we got some held. And we got some staked. So that's all off the market. So most of it's off the market. There's only really this stuff here in purple, and maybe you could argue the LP pool that are liquid there, so 22%. That's not bad. That really can help with the pump in the price. So yeah, a total TGC burn till now 11%, and of course that's $1.7 million. Projected burn in the next 6 months 17%. So it's going to continue to burn. Really nice, solid investment from that point of view. Very, very cool. And of course the Grays currency in the pool. 6,800 holders. That's a pretty good holder number. We know that DragonX at the moment's got like 960, so that's a pretty good number there. Stake is 1,500, so it's got a pretty good sizable community on Pulsechain, and definitely one of the better projects on the Pulsechain there. Total value locked 6.3 million. Circulating supply 296 billion. PDC stake supply 215, so massive number. Burn supply 36.8, so pretty good tokenomics there as well. They also have adjacent tokens or complementary ecosystem tokens also helping to do a good job. UFO is one of those. So UFO token stands as a pivotal amplifier for the PDC ecosystem, strategically engineered to foster unity between the rich art ecosystem and the Grays currency. Designed with precision, UFO operates as a catalyst, intensifying bot activity. So getting a lot of this activity and token volume for both its token and PDC. So this is helping amplify that. Central to its architect is a 6% buy and sell fee structure, and of course that's looking really good. So doing pretty well. There is the old UFO. In fact, I think it's one of the ones that's trending. It is indeed. So PDC is up 11, 12, 30% depending on the peer, but UFO is also up at 10% as well. So doing a really, really good job there. And I don't know, I think just trying to remember, Alien I think is also part of their ecosystem as well. That's not showing up on the main website. I'm pretty sure that was part of their, let's have a quick look. I thought it was part of theirs as well. Maybe it's a different team, but I thought it was. Yeah, maybe it's different. Anyway, so UFO and definitely PDC part of the same crew there. So took it away. And of course, that's up 26% at the moment. Is the old Alien. It's not doing pretty well also. All right, so that is ticking away there on a PTGC. Now we're going to get into TitanX and DragonX on Ethereum. So we're switching away from Pulsechain here. But we may have some some shared love there on Pulsechain eventually between the some of the protocols like Pulsar. But the bookie says, "Go the Gray. We love a ray gun." let's keep away from ray gun. Let's keep away from ray gun. You're trying to crowd out a conversation here with the old ray gun. Remember the old kangaroo? There we go. That was terrible. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's get into TitanX, and here we go. So this is the X system. You may not have seen this. This is sort of stuff that we post in Strategy Club. So if you haven't joined our Strategy Club, the link's in the video description. Maybe Wookie will post his link. Join the Strategy Club. It's $35 a month, but we look at best opportunities on multi-chain, and a lot of opportunities and a lot of intel goes into that. So you get lots of intel updates. As I'm looking around, you're going to get some of those updates in the Strategy Club. We got Discord is Pulsechain Hex Discord. It's a private Discord, $5 a month to join, and you get all the information and all the best community in there. But we also have the Strategy Club, which is a private group within that, which is $35 a month, but that includes the Pulsechain Hex Discord as well. So you can use that link in the video description, or Wookie's link if you post it as well. Now here we are with a map of the current TitanX ecosystem. It's a community-based map, and you can see it's really starting to expand really quickly. So you got TitanX, you got all these other things coming. X28, it's going to be a new project coming in October. You've got some really cool. You got Hydra going to be launching maybe next week, as early as next week, certainly September, but possibly even next week, maybe next weekend or something. So that's going to be coming. That's going to be bullish for DragonX. So you can see DragonX. DragonX, of course, crushing it. I mean, what was it? They just did a 30x in the last move. I think they're possibly up 100x from the bottom, although 30x was just a massive move for DragonX. So absolutely massive. They've got a lot of other protocols that are going to be benefiting that, like Inferno, like DragonX Farms and Hydra. So building on top of DragonX, that's a third layer project, right? So if TitanX is the layer 1, which is built on Ethereum, right? Then DragonX is the layer 2, built on top of TitanX, and then these other ones are built on top of DragonX, and so therefore layer 3s. So you see the TitanX ecosystem expanding its layers. It's pretty crazy. So doing very well. Now there's a lot of new projects on this list. Obviously some existing ones. DragonX Baby is existing, and so Titan Legends there. Helios is already existing. Inferno is existing already. DragonX, obviously, the Blaze is already existing, and then you've got all these new projects. Hyper is obviously existing. And you've got all these new projects. Vault, Avatorex there. X28 is going to be massive. That's another Jake Sharp one coming. You got Hydra, of course, another Jake Sharp one there coming with Eric the Frontman. So that's coming out as well. So it's going to be huge. DragonX Farms will probably come out a bit later. It's also going to benefit a lot of the second layer protocols. Going to be able to use the LP rewards in the DragonX Farms. It's going to be pretty epic there. We've got what's this? LGNDX as well. Hybrid NFT holders there. That token airdrop's going to be pretty mad. So if you've got these Titan Legends, you're going to be pretty happy about that. That's coming up. Titans of Battle, of course, also with the game there, and of course TXG utility NFT, and then of course X28 is going to be massive. So the next one, Hydra in September, X28 in October, but quite a few of these others will be launching sometime before the end of the year. So this system is getting bigger. There's also more projects that are not even on this list. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, the TitanX supply is just about out. So by the time we get to about mid-October, particularly at the end of September, the supply of TitanX is going to be out, the bulk of it. And yeah, you're going to have very little coming out after the end of September. Certainly, there's no more trillion candles. And yeah, it's just going to be downside, this decline in the total supply. So it's going to be absolutely massive for the TitanX ecosystem. All right, so let's have a look at some of the yields at the moment. We've got DragonX at the top. So I've just got this by rank for the current projects launched. Obviously, DragonX there at the moment is up 2% for 24 hours, doing very well. And of course, we've got Helios there up 1.3% at the moment. BDX, they're up slightly as well, 0.4%. Blaze up 0.2%. TitanX, the main one, the layer 1, as it were, of the ecosystem, is just down 0.25% at the moment, but holding up pretty well. So let's have a look at the TitanX price. And we're going to go to the daily, but let's go to the weekly on this one, just to give you a show of where that's at. So definitely, obviously, had the down chart. Everyone was laughing at that, of course. We had the inflation coming out, right? Inflation's about to go, right? So inflation's about to go, and we're starting to rise up here now already. This thing is about to go lit. So let's have a quick look at the inflation coming out. So let's go have a look at the June report for TitanX. And this is a tribute to Mike Jean, who's pretty much the #1 data provider for a TitanX ecosystem out there. and we're going to have a look at the current inflation still to come out. So this is the chart here. Got future TitanX applying, and you can see that we're ending the end of August, and then we're going to get all the way through to the end of October. Or the end of September. And you can see we can have all that inflation out, and then you can see after when October starts, it just goes down and dies off. So all the TitanX is going to be out. So whatever's going to be out, it's going to be out. The market's going to react to that big time, and then of course we've got protocols launching. So we're going to have, if we're coming back to that chart that we had, right? So if we come back to this chart, we're going to have this Hydra launch on top of DragonX. DragonX already is the super whale on TitanX, right? So it is the biggest staker on TitanX, and it's going to get even bigger, and it's going to get the payout for TitanX, right, which is coming up. So it's going to be massive, about 36% of the payout. It's going to increase, though, as it has to stake 44.5% of that payout, which is about $27.7 million. And so that's going to give it even more of the payout for the next payout in the future, which is what they call the 888-day payout, which has got millions of dollars in it too. So it's going to be absolutely become a behemoth. But it's also going to be fed with some of these other protocols like Inferno and others that are going to be playing into DragonX. So some of these new protocols coming up are going to be pretty epic for feeding that. Let's have a quick look at those at the moment and then pull those up. But let's do it while we're here. And yeah, so we've got this list of protocols. And some of these ones down here, like Hydra, Element 280, and stuff like that, going to be feeding the DragonX. So it's going to be pretty awesome to see that play out. So it's going to be just getting bigger and bigger. Juggernaut DragonX as a stakeholder there. X28 is also going to allow people to take shares out. So that's going to make DragonX even bigger whale. And of course, remember, DragonX inflation's already out. So there's no more inflation coming for DragonX. There's 5.3 trillion at the moment, and that's it. So DragonX is already out. TitanX is almost going to be out, as we see in this chart. So you can see that for the two main juggernauts, TitanX and DragonX, the inflation is DragonX is already out, and TitanX is just is almost there. By the time we get in October, it's virtually nothing left. You can see by the time we get to November, look, there's hardly anything coming out after that. I mean, it's just crazy. The last trillion inflation coming out is on the 5th of October. So that's it. It's game on. And of course, during this time, we're expecting Hydra to come out potentially next week in September. So potentially in here. And then we have another project, of course, which is Hyper, and that's coming out on the 19th, 20th. And so that is here after the last two Juggernaut candles there, a 3 trillion candle and another 2 trillion. And then that's it. So by the time we get to the 16th of September, we've got no more 2 trillion or 3 trillion candles. They're all out. And then, of course, after that, we're going to, and a couple of days later on the 19th, we're going to have the Vortex open up, another buy and burn coming into the play for TitanX. So TitanX got the V1 buy and burn, V2 buy and burn. It's got the Hyper buy and burn, and now it's going to have the Vortex as well from Hyper. So Hyper will have 2 buy and burns kicking in there. That's 3. And that's not to mention some of the other protocols like Inferno, which are going through the cycles. In fact, Inferno's cycle number 6 is opening up tonight. And that's last time it got 700 billion supply off the market. So we're going to have demand coming up the buy and burns, 3 buy and burns. And then we're also going to have the Hydra on top of DragonX, and that's going to be really bullish for DragonX. And then, of course, we're also going to have in October here, X28 coming out. Of course, those are just the 2 big juggernauts. But of course, we've got all these other projects also launching as well, coming out. Element 28, 280 is going to be out in October. So we're expecting X28 as well. Now, X28 doesn't have actually a hard date there, but we're just assuming that it comes out there before the staker payout on the 30th of October. So that's just a one caveat there. And then Hydra is coming out in September. So, and maybe early September. So possibly next week or the week after. So that is the play on that one. And of course, a lot of these are starting to feed. So if they're feeding in Ethereum, feeding in TitanX, whatever they're feeding in, it's starting to benefit the other projects in the ecosystem as well. So the second layers, third layers, starting to benefit that. So bullish from that point of view. So that is some of the cool stuff happening. So TitanX is the quiet before the storm. It's already had a beautiful rally in here, just consolidating. But man, it's about to go absolutely lit and insane in the next a couple of weeks. I would say there's only a couple of weeks left to get your bags on TitanX and DragonX, maybe to that 19th September. The market's going to move probably pretty fast. So just to remember that. So you've probably got a couple of weeks to get in. All the inflation, like I say, is going to be out, pretty much by mid-October. So if you haven't got in well before that, I would say, by this period here in a couple of weeks' time, then you're going to have to pay it again, right? So that's just the way it goes on that one. All right, so that's kind of the cool stuff happening there at the moment. This is a cool chart just to summarize a lot of the projects at the moment, kind of summarizing this link here on TitanX Hub. But man, it's about to get absolutely crazy. Some of these third layer protocols are looking really, really good too. All got different tokenomics. These are all kind of ROI protocols, all just linking in together. It's going to be pretty epic to see that play out. So many maps. Now, there are a lot more projects that are not on here yet. So you're probably thinking maybe 25, 26 projects. It's going to continue to grow. This is really going to become the dominant ecosystem on Ethereum based on TitanX, right? So that's how big this is. It's going to be absolutely ginormous. And of course, it's performing like a boss. Market's going down, but TitanX and the ecosystem are holding up very well. Let's jump over to DragonX, which is the big super whale, and it's only getting stronger and stronger. It's going to benefit from all the things that are happening with all the other projects. It's already at a ratio of 8.77 TitanX to 1 DragonX, and it's look, we even back on the 15th we got it all the way up to 12, right? So it was massive. Let's switch this over to the TitanX ratio so you can see that a bit clearer. Got all the way up to 12, just over 12 there on the 15th of August. And look, it only came back a little bit and is starting to rise back up again. This thing's about to go insane, especially with Hydra coming out potentially next week or so. And of course, a lot of those other projects down here, some of the new ones there are going to be feeding into the DragonX buy and burn and things like that. So it's only getting more lit on that. So pretty awesome on those. And some of the other ones that are going to be pretty exciting to see is Hyper. Hyper is doing extremely well as well. And this may end up getting pretty close to a breakout on Hydra. School got a tons of ETH going in. I think it was about 148 ETH or something that's there. So it's still moving up pretty awesome. So it's going to be fun to see Hyper play out. Hyper is built on top of TitanX. It's starting to pump that too. And of course, we've also got Inferno doing well. Inferno, of course, has got its, like I said earlier, you can see this chart. This is Inferno chart. Is that pretty badass? This is the weekly. Let's go to the daily on Inferno. That's the weekly chart on Inferno. Isn't that fantastic? And of course, it hasn't just got the pump and dump at the end. And Inferno is opening up cycle number 6. Now, there's 8 cycles of its inflation, and cycle 6 is opening up in 13 hours. And man, this is going to be fun to see this play out. People put TitanX in there, right? And it's going to be fun to see this. So last cycle 5, they did 700 billion. Cycle 4, if I remember right, it was about 330 billion. So that's been doubling. And with the sentiment in the TitanX ecosystem at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if this cycle 6 does 1 trillion and removes 1 trillion supply of TitanX out of the market that way. It's going to be pretty fun to see that. So yeah, Inferno doing pretty well. So we've got things on the demand side with the buy and burns, with the Hyper coming up, Vortex on the 19th. And we've got things on the supply side coming up as well. Heaps of projects. There's tons of projects. And of course, the Inferno here playing a huge role in getting that supply off the market for a TitanX. So pretty cool. Let's have a quick look at the TitanX supply, just while we're at it. Obviously, the buy and burn's pretty epic. So V2's operating, and of course, V1. Sitting in buying V1, another 4,500 Ethereum, $11.2 million at the current price of ETH. Obviously, if this is on the way down with ETH, if ETH's on the way back up, imagine what this thing's going to do. Absolutely insane. And of course, the stats at the moment, liquid supply, 54.6 trillion. And of course, you know that liquid supply is 33% of the total supply liquid. And of course, there we've got only just about through the whole inflation for TitanX. This thing is about to go ape and epic. It's going to be so much fun to watch the next 3 to 6 weeks. And then, of course, the rest of the year onwards. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so that is kind of the play there on TitanX. We can see there is 22 trillion staked. A lot of that staked very long, folks. It's like max staked, most of it. So that's never going to see the light of day, at least for a long time. And then, of course, we're going to have X28 come out. And so you're going to be able to burn those stakes as well, which means it's going to make DragonX bigger and all sorts of stuff, whoever's left staking for X28. BOT protocols, 11.6 trillion TitanX stuck in the second layer protocols and LP pools. And then, of course, the burn. Look at this burn. Almost 65 trillion TitanX has been bought up and burned. That's $26.5 million has been bought up and burned. That's how powerful the buy and burn system is. It's built into the system, right? So the Magic Up ride is built inside the TitanX system there from Jake Sharp, right? So Jake Sharp's the guy that put all this together and are doing pretty well there. And we've got 2 trillion there locked up in Hyper as well, which is on top of this. So it's doing very well. So that's kind of the overview there. And of course, if we have a quick look at Hyper while we're here as well, while we're talking about TitanX, and we can see that the buy and burn operating at the moment is the buy and burn in TitanX. So at the moment, we've got lots of things coming in. So the miner yield at the moment is 127%. It's been up about 140% on Hyper. And of course, this means that people are participating in the mining. That's bringing Ethereum in. The Ethereum there's 151 ETH in there now, so it's continuing to rise. And that's going to be buying TitanX there as well at $2,500 every 3 hours. So 1 ETH every 3 hours, doing pretty well. And the stats for the Hyper is actually pretty rare. So it's probably got very low tokens, only 1.25 trillion there, 37.5% of liquid supply. So not a lot there at the moment. And the buy and burn has already burned $1 trillion already so far, which is pretty cool. Now the thing, of course, is that the Hyper burn ticks away. So it's burning Hyper about $2,100 every 3 hours as well. So you've got 2 buy and burns, one for TitanX, one for Hyper. And then, of course, the Vortex is opening up soon. It's got 290 ETH in there. That's going to be on the 19th. As I said, it's coming up on the 19th here. So around about here, perfect timing. And that's also going to be, buying as well. Probably maybe they'll do 1 ETH or maybe enough ETH to get us to the end of October, where we've got the big staker payer on TitanX, right? So the big staker payer at the moment coming up is on TitanX, and it is huge. What do we got there? $6.3 million at the current price. ETH is coming out on the 30th of October. So if you think they're on the map here, that is right here. So right here, after all the inflation's out, it's going to be insane, guys. It's going to be insane. So that's all coming up. It's not far away, 2 months. So there we go, 290. And the market's going to front run it, right? The market's going to front run this move. It's going to be absolutely $732,000 there. It's going to be insane. And it's going to go buy TitanX, right? Go buy TitanX. So brilliant. All right, so that's kind of the cool play there at the moment. So much stuff coming. Demand side buy and burns. More ETH coming. More ETH pools buying. More basically system buyers coming into play. More supply getting taken off the market. More protocols. More leverage. It's going to be insane in here. Very, very cool, as you can tell. So lots of cool stuff. And look at all the projects not even launched all the way here. Look at this. Shogun, Aura Bros, Pulsar, Blaze Wars. All these Blaze Wars, Chimps, TitanNet Farms, Titan Guardians, Titan Fire, Flux, Element 280, Vault Hydra, and many more coming, right? Many more coming. We've got some of them here on the list there, TXG and things like that. So it's going to be pretty crazy in here. So they're going to have games, utilities, everything. It's going to really become a dynamic ecosystem on top of Ethereum there, and even possibly crossing over to Pulsechain with Pulsar and stuff. So lots of cool things happening. All right, man, what an exciting time there on the old TitanX. Hope you guys enjoy that. The breakdance of Raygun, yeah, that's who he's talking about there on the Raygun there. That's Wookie. He's a big fan. He's a big fan. Head of the fan club for Raygun. Yes, she is an alien, says Wookie. That's hilarious. We got Trevor in the house there. So much going on. Got to research TitanX and get involved. After September, we start to move. Thanks for your work, says Trev. You're most welcome. Yep, if you want to find out more details, get into the Strategy Club. Links in the video description in the Discord. $35 a month, and we post lots of intel there, not just about TitanX ecosystem, but about any cool opportunity that could be mega X's, and so far so good in there as well. All right, so get in there, and we'll see you in the Strategy Club. All right, so we're going to end up there. That's our coverage of TitanX for the day. We're going to do probably a bit more deep dive in the Strategy Clubs if you want to get in there. Now let's move through a lot of these charts here. I want to quickly talk about Mafia. Obviously, Mafia is the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain. And a big shout out to Archie, our Don. He is the head of the directorate, which sometimes I confuse for the protectorate, but it does protect a lot of people, that's for sure. Now, the syndicate is the top Mafia family, and it's doing very well. 542,000 worth versus Gearheads. So it's actually made a gap here on Gearheads, who are now at 527. So well done to the syndicate. We've got the Salamancas at number 3, and of course we've got the Yakuza at number 4 and the Hustlers at number 5. They're all part of the directorate number 4 and 5. So the directorate controls 3 out of the 5 families on the Mafia game on Pulsechain. There's the #1 family, and of course this game is lit, right? So how much is up for stakes? Well, there's a lot of money up for stakes. Obviously, it will move around dramatically with the price of Pulse. Thousands of dollars every time the Pulse goes up or down. At the moment, we've got 5.3 billion with a B. Billion Pulse there. It's currently worth 179,000. Obviously, if Pulse chain goes up 3x, it's going to go up 3x. So you quickly head towards $500,000, $1 million very, very quickly, depending on the function of Pulse. But the total amount of stuff's coming in. Now, there's more things coming in to feed this vault, so that's coming up in the future. We are waiting for the map to come out, right? That's the biggest stage coming up. That's stage 6 out of 11. So we're waiting for that to come up, and we may potentially, I think the target launch date is probably somewhere in December. That's kind of my guess at the moment with the rollout. So we know the map's coming out soon. It's probably going to be 2 weeks or so for every other stage. So that might get us to maybe late October, maybe December, somewhere like that, because, you know, software's hard, all that sort of stuff. But I think they're getting there. They've recently hired a 3D visualizer as well. So I think that's coming. So this is the #1 GameFind project on Pulsechain as well. So kind of cool. And it's also on BNB, right? So let's go to BNB at the moment and quickly check out the vault size on there. So the vault size at the moment is 130 BNB. Now, apparently Cult DeFi, who's Jacob's front man, who's the developer for Jacob, has said that they have no worries that this is going to get to 500 BNB by the time it starts. They do expect Mafia start on both chains at the same time, but they've got some tricks up their sleeve to get things moving for the vault there. So this thing's going to be a big prize pool for this huge online game, right? For a blockchain game on Pulsechain. So it's going to be a lot of fun on both chains. Now, obviously, the directorate is running, also dominating the BNB side as well. The directorate there led by Archie Capone, the syndicate #2, the Accuser and the Illuminati at number 4 and 5. So controlling all up, controlling 3 families on BNB, 3 on Pulsechain. So 6 out of the 10 paid spots are going to be controlled by the directorate, which is Archie, who's in the chat there. So he's absolutely doing a great job. Now, #1 over here is Original Gangsters for the time being, but for how long, we shall see. And then #3, there's the Mugnows. So we do have some different families over on BNB, OGs and the Mugnows dominating as opposed to the Gearheads and the Salamankas on Pulsechain. So we have a bit of difference here. There's a different world, as so to speak. Now, the one thing I'm going to mention on BNB side is that the businesses, we've still got 35 businesses remaining. A lot of them will be the slot machines, roulettes, and bullet factories. So there's still a lot of really valuable businesses there, potentially worth a couple of $1,000, potentially subject to market demand, of course. But you can purchase keys over there, $20 a key. Your chance of winning one, you can use the key to try and win one of those businesses. Obviously, you might win some of the other game assets. There are some good game assets in there, winning Mafia up to 50 million, and of course, keys as well. And no one has won any of that Mafia so far. So imagine winning 5 million or 1 million Mafia. It'd be pretty cool. Or winning 100 game keys or 75 game keys or something like that. So that is still available for people to win. So that's on Mafia at the moment. So mafia.io. So let's just flip that back around. So you can see there's well over $250,000 maybe also on both chains. And with the prices of BNB and that, we get into bull market maybe at the end of the year. That could quickly turn into $2 million. I mean, it's very quickly hit this sort of stuff. So Mafia is going to be a big GameFi project on Pulsechain. All right, let's post it. I think Brian's in the house there. Brian says, my link to the Discord is way better than Wiki's link, just saying. So you can use that link, or you can use Wiki's link. Join the Strategy Club today. And, of course, get in there, folks. What else we got here? We got the Mafia there. That's the link to Mafia. And we do encourage you. We're in the Protectorate. I don't call it Protectorate. What they say, the Directorate. Always getting that wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. The Directorate. You can join up and get involved in there. I'm not sure if Archie's here. He could post the link. But we're making some changes to the onboarding there. So you'll be able to get on that. Before, though, let's end the poll and see what we got there. Final results. Let me just get my mouse in the play. And let's see what the people are. Do you hold any of the follow tokens? pTGC is 41%. So, wow, a lot of people are holding PTC. Congratulations to you because you picked one of the winners on Pulsechain. 2 or more of the about 35%. Well done to you because you're picking winners on Ethereum as well. TitanX 17%, DragonX 5%. Well done on that. So congratulations. I think you guys are doing well. All those 17 people that responded there, you picked some winners there, and of course we've been covering those for some time. So congratulations on that. It is going to be insane. I think PTC is just going to continue to go from strength to strength. TitanX and DragonX and the rest of the ecosystem is about to explode, in my opinion. You can see the inflation is just about for TitanX. It's game on. It is game on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, if you do want to join the Mafia there, that is the link to Mafia. Only 2,000 Mafia, so it's super cheap to get that at the moment. Only maybe $1 or something, or $2, depending on the chain. And you can do that on Pulsechain and BNB. If you want to join the families there, the winning families, the dominating 6 out of 10 paid spots. In other words, if you do well in the game, if you get your wealth up, you get paid more, right? So the money is shared to the family. So you can earn Pulse B&B, things like that on the Mafia game, and have a good time while you're doing it as well. So there we go. Join the syndicate today. That is the link there from Archie. Big shout out to Archie. The Don himself is posting that link. So yeah, he's dominating the game. You're in with a winner if you join the syndicate today, and it's also a bit of fun as well while you do make some play to earn, and while we do that. The map's going to be pretty awesome coming up next, and it's going to have a 3D artist, all these animations. It's going to have a massive number of areas. It's going to be like a giant metaverse. It's not just a game, it's like a giant metaverse. So yeah, it's going to be pretty fun to see it. I can't wait for it to come out. Expected soon, and possibly we probably launch maybe end of November at the earliest, maybe December even, based on the timeline that we understand at the moment. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Man, we covered a lot. 1 hour in the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in Discord. Take care, everybody, and enjoy yourself today. The weekend is coming, and of course it's Friday here for us down under. So let's play out some Magic Cup Ride from actually, let's play the Mafia theme song, shall we? Play the Mafia today. Peace out, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.